everybody. I am here in Dallas-Fort Worth with Hunter. Hunter is a wonderful player from our locals who did pretty well here today. Hunter, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how you did, your matchups, and your deck?
I lost the first round and then went straight through either like drawing or winning. I went X1-2. There was even a round that I drew where I really shouldn't have drawn. I just focused on the wrong thing. But I've been playing this Traptrix deck for a couple of different events, and I think it's pretty fleshed out and does pretty well. A couple of different things that a lot of people haven't really talked about playing yet, or I haven't seen a lot online. So that's kind of what I'm here to show you.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and get a little bit into the deck profile. Before we do you have any shout-outs you want to do?
Shout out to LifeShare. Give blood, guys. It helps save lives. Otherwise, Top Tier Gaming Legio, I think, is Aaron's channel for giving me prosperity targets that are decent.
Sure.
Otherwise, Sonny's channel, Steelfox Games, Pandemonium Gaming. Gotta support my boy Vo, and yeah, all good.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get on in.
So some of it is pretty generic. You do play the triple Putica, you play triple Myrmilio, really good starters. You also play triple Mantis. I'd actually taken this out and cut it to 2 for a couple of events, and it wasn't bad. It felt still pretty good, but you didn't go the normal summon Mantis into Arachno in full combo as much. I still didn't feel it as often today, but that's because opponents just had more to do against it than usual. But 2 to 3 is generally perfectly fine. It kind of just depends. This was the 41st card today. And it might have been impactful, I'm not exactly sure. But these are definitely some of the best normal summons. Some people are wanting to bump this to 3 just because Gamma's coming back into the format. It's a maybe, but it felt pretty good at 2 the whole way through. And a lot of times whenever I side, I usually side one of these out anyway, because you only really need one for the full combo here. And otherwise you're just kind of using it to help kill the opponent. Which is why we also played double Dionea. You gotta play at least 2, I think, because you want one to special to reset your trap holes, you want the other to be able to normal summon during your second turn just to be able to blow them out of the water. And it, under Garden, feels really, really good. So, a really good monster lineup. Like I said, you can play 2 Mantis, but I think that's the lowest you really want to go. And then the honorary Traptrix card is Parallel Exceed, because it makes rank 4s, and that's really good. There's only really a couple of ways that you can actually make 2 rank 4s as your ending board, and this kind of requires you to have one of them. And then I play just 3 Ash, the only hand trap. I do think Droll would have kind of been better in the format today. I don't know where it would have been, but I think Ash is still fine. I only played 1 Garden. There were times when it came up where I could have had a second one, but I really just can't find anything to cut, and I wouldn't really want to play it as my 42nd card. Triple Prosperity, kind of just stapling it at this point. I am playing one other spell, but I'm going to keep it down to the end, because most of this is still just pretty generic, like I said. Got to play triple evenly in the main. It comes up a whole lot, and then you just decide it out whenever you're going to go first. I played triple Infirm. I think that's still fine. I wouldn't play another hand trap over this, because it's really good to just set and activate Sarah. As for the holes, again, pretty generic. 3, 1 Gravediggers, the Nightmare, the Floodgate, and then I'm also playing Bottomless and Terrifying. Some people play Bottomless, some people don't. It's good against the braided matchup in their normal summon, but it didn't really happen. And then Terrifying, it never came up all day, but I still liked having it in versus a lot of the decks. It's just, I never used it. It was always kind of something that I wanted to use later on, because Nightmare and Floodgate and Gravediggers are just so really, really good. And then the last 4 cards, which are usually pretty tech options, I decided to go with 2 Book of Moon and 2 Torrential. In the past, I'd been playing triple Book of Moon and I'd been at 40, but I saw some of my friends had been talking about Torrential, and I decided, let's give it a try again. But I really didn't want to take out Book of Moon. Besides the fact that my main deck pretty much just takes care of cash by itself, Book of Moon just kind of mainly helps that, and then Torrential hits a lot of stuff. Didn't really come up near as much today, but I can tell you Book of Moon comes up a whole lot against a lot of matchups. It would have, if I'd have used it during the Dinosaur matchup, it would have won me that game instead of a draw. And that's the main deck. Like I said, I'm playing 41 specifically because of the extra Mantis. I still think it's worth it to have just to be able to like do your regular full combo during turn 1, even off just one monster, because that happened a lot. As I would really only have like one monster to be able to do something with. In the past, it hasn't been really big of a deal, but like it seems hand traps are coming back in a lot more fashion. So I had a lot more people deal with that all day, but it still wasn't really that big of a problem. I'm going to go into the extra really quick. Sarah's generic. I only play one Reflation. I really don't think you need to. You could play a second over some of the cards that I'm going to put in, but like it never came up that I needed to. I did use a second one in like the Houston regionals, that 10-round one, and I did use it at YCS LA, but it's not like I had to have the second Reflation. It was just there as backup. And then Ping and Ali Harris, just such good extenders. Like it doesn't really matter what like Cash banishes out of this extra deck. You can just go through another line, but I think these are necessary, at least in their ratios. I played in Alsa. It came up a couple times actually, especially whenever I summoned somebody's Fenrir back, which really kind of made me want to play Fenrir more in the deck. But it comes up, and it's there to potentially go into Adipus if I need to, but usually I just use the Traptrix cards. But it's kind of there also to help like go through access code. I didn't play it today, but it's kind of our only out against Psychic and Punisher. And either at the end of the day, like access code is just such a good card, and I had the space for it, so I figured I'd go ahead and play it. The other extra deck is Time Thief, Reader, like pretty good. Used it all day, especially with the trap. The non-targeting hit was great. Exciton Knight and Zeus are here for the cash matchup as well, but a lot of different matchups where I'm just going to go second, and I really just want to like clear the board and then try to overlay Zeus afterwards. If I wasn't playing these next 3 cards, I might just go 2 and 2, or I can just play a lot of other utility ranked 4s. Because the last 3 that I'm playing is a combo that a lot of people are starting to notice now. It includes Ptolemaeus, which at the end phase will put Constellar Diamond, or really any other one, underneath it. Then it has 3 materials, and during your opponent's turn, you can detach those 3 materials and overlay Durandal. And Durandal either swipes the hand, but you're not really worried about that. You're worried about its first effect, which is to turn either a monster, spell, or trap effect into basically an MST. I never used it today because like it just didn't seem like the spells and traps that I had I really wanted to give up. And honestly, I played through evenly all day. Everybody seemed to evenly me. I can say like most of the rounds I got evenly at least once, and Redoer really just kind of came up clutch in that because Redoer can at least banish itself to get itself out, if nothing else. And then you can at least trigger either Sarah from the evenly, or a lot of what I did was I just left the Reflasia so I could hit whatever summon they stop, or whatever summon they use, and then Reader comes back at the end phase, steals one, and then it's basically Zeus fodder. You can just attack. If you can attack, it just becomes another Zeus. So Reader is amazing. Again, I wouldn't play a second Reader, but these 3 could really have been anything. All day I was just using them for prosperity. Again, in general, I might play like a double of these, so an extra 2 of those. Maybe some other links to be able to like go into access, something of the sort. And then for the side, again, I think it's pretty generic. Triple Gamma Seal is really, really good. I've seen a lot of people even starting to main this potentially, but it's a really, really good card. It's set against most things. Triple Bell. Bell comes up against a lot of random decks. Like I was just kind of suggested it for a while. Like I'd been, this is the 3 of that I really was never sure about like what I wanted in this spot. But eventually Bell came down to it because it just hits so much, especially like adventure engines and things. Like it just feels really, really nice. I played for the other 3. I played 1 Feather Duster, 1 Pankratops, and then I sided the Cowboy. Again, if I had not been playing this 3 in the extra, I would have mained the Cowboy, and this could have been something else, but I at least wanted to side the Cowboy, and again, it potentially came up. And then a good one of, and then if I have just 1 card left, it was either this or a pointer, and I think this just like felt better. It came up a lot. A lot of people are not playing Judgment, and they're really not liking Judgment. I think anytime I drew Judgment, I won the game. So I really, really do like Judgment. Even if it's just to stop it evenly, or a Dark Ruler, or something like that, that's fine with me. I still like it to play with all the rest of my background. I mean, D-Barrier is just D-Barrier right now. A lot of people are taking it out too. Like, it's not amazing against everything, but I still think it's good enough, especially because this deck really, really does lose to Branded. It feels like pretty badly. Maybe it's just because I don't know the Branded matchup, but this makes me win against Branded like very, very heavily if I can draw it. And you know, even against going Branded against going second, I would still like play like at least the Kaijus or you know Pagertops, things like this to alleviate that. A Kaiju or a book plus evenly pretty much took out most boards.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the profile, man.
So overall, is there any changes that you think you might have made to the deck? Anything like that?
Again, I really think Droll would have been great against a lot of the matchups I played, whether it was Cash or whether it was Sprite or Despia. Like, Droll really, really would have done well against all of those. And that's not to say like I would have drawn it. It's not to say I even really have an idea of what I would have like taken for it, because I didn't really want to put it in this side with what I had. I didn't feel like I had room. I really did like Bell. I could have probably cut Bell to 2. You know, made the Cowboy, and then I would have either Pagertops or just, you know, only 2 Droll on the side. But you know, I think Droll somewhere would have been good. Otherwise, I think Book of Moon is really a Traptrix card. It is really, really helpful in this deck specifically, but I know it's great in the format. I'm curious to see what's going to happen whenever next format comes around. Otherwise, like I said, take the 3 out, put in other like generic extra deck stuff, and it'd be great. Like, the deck is really, really good, even for people who you know, don't want to invest into a higher tier deck. Like, it still is just a good deck, other than this, but it feels like everything has to kind of run
Gotcha.
at this point.
Well, hey, thank you again so much, and congratulations on your finish.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Yep.